Okay, here we have the house, and I have the UV editing open. That's why we get this checkered response when we click on things. But because we're going to talk about texturing here, it's important to know where your texture maps are, or your images for your textures. So that's why it's important to set your scene. So file, set project, and choose your master folder. So my master folder is house. Um, and so just know where your textures are. That's where my textures live. All right, so there are some peculiarities to this house because I extruded and I didn't do it evenly. Same with the door. So let's take a look at the door. I'm going to just select it as an object. So I'm in object mode, and I'm going to use the isolation tool, which is this button right here. It's a little hard to see, so if you need to um, make your screen a little bigger, I could give myself some more real estate here. So click there and it shows up. I'm going to look at it from the top view to start. So go into your top view. I'm also going to isolate this there. That's the button here. Isolate selected. Press focus. You can then just rotate it around till it's more or less straight, and then we can do that with the snap tool with the vertices. Go into vertex mode, select both the vertices, so that's going all the way down there because it's an up and down view. Press W to move and hold the X, and as in xylophone, X as an extra, and snap it to one of the grid points, and just make sure you snap these also to the same grid points that you snap the other ones to, right? So you have a box there. Okay, so let's take a look at it from up down and just see what it looks like. You can also isolate it again with the isolate. It looks pretty good. I think everything is in alignment. You may still have your UVs may be a little off, but I'm going to turn off isolate selected, show this, turn off, well, yeah, you can just leave it for now. Okay, so let's go to over here, let's widen this a bit, and let's go up to create automatic, and that kind of gives you, a little bit of an honest feedback about where things are. We can then, go into the UVs and do what we did before because they need to be moved. Just snap it into place. You can do that with all of them. Just make sure that they line up with one another. And sometimes you have to zoom in to see the others. You can select more than one at a time if you wish, but that one needs to come over there. Okay, so the other ones look all right, so we'll just leave them. You can go to UV shell too and check out which of those are which. So same here, go to UV shell. Let's look at these, the front and the back first. I'm going to select them both. So select and shift select. So I have them both selected there. They're a little out of proportion, so I'm going to mess around with that proportion there so that I can try to get a more equal looking square there in the check. Then I'm going to just move them, press W for move, just move them out of the way for now. Let's see which one's that. That's the bottom. So you can see it's out of proportion. So let's try something else. We'll go to create planar and look at the settings. So we need that to be the up and down direction, which is Y, because if we were going to throw a projector, it would be from that direction, project. And you see there it is. We can scale it because it's it's not in proportion, so scale it. It's going to just be kind of a long, thin thing, which is, more accurate. Maybe something like that. Maybe that's too long. Okay, so something like that, and then you can move it out of the way for now. Let's look at what this one is. It's on the side. Let's do the top first because it's the same projection angle, which is the Y, because it's going, you can see the Y would be the projection. So then let's scale that down so it's more even. You could actually make it around the same size as the other one. You can make it kind of more exactly the same size if you wish. But I'm just going to kind of do it a little bit by feel here, and maybe like that. Okay, Then with the sides, the only difference is the direction of the projection. This time we're going to project in Z because that's where the projector would sit if there was such a thing here. That still doesn't look right, so let's take a look at where that is rotated. Let's unrotate that. Still looks a little odd, doesn't it? So let's scale it way down. Let's bring that in. Let's bring that in. They should be more or less the same size as these right here. Let's see, maybe something like that. All right, so same with this side, create planar, and then let's take out that rotation there, and let's just scale it in, and oops, we don't want to flip it around, and scale it in. And again, it could be something similar to the other one. I'm not going to bother to get them too exact. Okay, so then you can select all of them if you want, and go to the modify layout. You can also check on the settings for layout if you wish. If you want to make your texture map a little bigger, I think that the default is 1024. You're welcome to make it a little bigger. You can see here that we're packing them, but we don't want them to overlap. Let's go ahead and lay out the UVs. And that looks pretty good, but just notice that it's pretty close to the line here. This, it's a little hard to see, but there is like this is an area where we want to work within. You see how it starts with 0, goes up to 1. We want to work within that grid, same here. So let's just scale it all in evenly, just a bit. Okay, there we go. And so the door looks okay. Again, you can really spend as much time as you wish here. I'm going to move out of the UV editing mode, and I'm going to unisolate this. And let's just take a look at what it'll look like when we add a material with a texture. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at its at the attribute editor for it. And if you wish, you can delete its history by clicking here, delete by type history, or you can go up to edit, delete by type history. Okay, and here's the surface I applied for it. So it's okay, but let's apply a texture. So check on the check, go to file, and look for, let's see, I just got a new one there. It's a seamless texture. Go ahead and press click, and you'll see that it's, it looks pretty good. If you want it to be, especially on the front and the back, you could do a different texture there for the front and the back, or you can, let's just go into here to see more options. We can look at how it's placed. Let's see if we did 2 times 2. You see that it's repeating there. And I'd say that looks okay. I might stagger it so it has a little bit, you can see the seam there, and let's see if we turn that off. Maybe it's better with it off. Let's see if we did it 4 times. I'm thinking maybe 2. You can also play around with how it's applied. You can rotate it if you wish. But I think I like it going up and down. This isn't, this program is not the best for texturing, but it's okay. So there you go. That works pretty well. All right. And we'll do the roof in a minute.